allowing the local government to act as a state. So in that regard, the local agencies or the local government can apply taxes and their own constitutions to basically allow them to raise money and do what they need to do as a local government, to have enough resources and things to implement the different policies and programs that the state public health agencies may want to implement. And these decentralized authority states, though, the state has absolutely very little influence on what the local public health agencies do. The one way that they do sometimes get away with controlling, but not really controlling these local health agencies is by allocation of resources. So basically, if the state goes in and says, this is your budget, and we want you to implement programs A, B, and C, if they give them a very small budget, obviously most of that money is going to go to program A as opposed to program C. So that's decentralized authority. Now we're going to move to centralized authority, which is the absolute opposite of that. So with centralized authority, the state agency completely controls every local health agency within that state. So as a state, again, they control any small city or small public health agency, and they can make rules, they can make all the operational decisions, all the firing, hiring, anything like that, as well as the finances and how the local agencies are run. States like these, they don't usually have local public health agencies. They often will have regional offices. Some states that do this is Hawaii, which is a fairly small state, so obviously we wouldn't need that many local health agencies going on. But some have absolutely no local health agencies at all. States like Delaware, Rhode Island, and Vermont, just the state agency completely controls everything. The next type of interaction is a shared authority. So basically, this is when the state agencies and different local governments come together and say, hey, we don't want you to completely control it, and the other party says, we don't want you to completely control it either. So they kind of run it together. This is fairly rare. As of 2012, only 4 states had what they call a shared authority. Those states were Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, and Maryland. So again, this is really no one party has complete control over local public health agencies. They kind of work together to make the best thing for each community. The final type of authority within the state and local public health agencies is mixed authority. And as it sounds, it kind of has a little bit of decentralized as well as a little bit of centralized. A lot of times this will happen is a state will give one local public health agency or local government home rule authority, but it doesn't want to give every single local government that type of power. So say your state wants to control a small rural community, but then there's also a larger urban area. They'll probably give the urban area some home rule authority, say you guys run what you need to run and we'll take care of all the smaller places. States that implement this type of agency or interaction, are Tennessee, Oklahoma, and Wyoming, to name a few. So basically, when we have these different types of state health agencies, a lot of times they will organize into smaller subunits, such as regions or districts or things like that, not to make a local health agency there, but just to kind of supervise the various local public health agencies in that area. So for example, if St. Clair County was to have different ones, maybe Belleville would have their own, or East St. Louis would have their own, they would have one big regional district to kind of supervise the different areas. So just to go over that, we're going to just show you how the states are divided. Basically, this is from a 2007 study, which just kind of showed how they divided each state. So again, you see centralized, shared, decentralized, and mixed. And it just basically goes over how they determine who was who. And then we have a small map, again, just showing which is which. So you can see Alaska, Alabama, those are mixed states. States like Texas, California are very much decentralized because they have a lot of big cities. And then states like, what am I looking at? I think that's New Mexico, have centralized government. Alright, so now we're gonna go to another discussion question, just to kind of get you guys' minds flowing again. And that discussion question is, how do you think home rule authority affects a state agency's ability to organize public health and